Hey guys, here it is, my Draw My Life video. So I decided to make this video because I've always been very willing to talk about myself. So this was a genre that I really hope to explore for my genre study. So anyways, I hope you don't get too bored listening to me blabber on about my life. Here we go! I was born in China, in a small town that I don't really remember the name of. All that I remember about it was that there were a lot of stray dogs that followed me around. And every time I went back to visit, I was so scared that I'd get rabies. My mother gave birth to me during a snowstorm, which, according to my grandparents, was a really big hassle because all the traffic was stalled and they had a terrible time trying to get to the hospital. Anyways, all that I really remember about the first 5 years of my life was that I had a really fat cat and I really liked dumplings. Then I came to Canada. Now, my parents didn't really tell me that we were moving. I woke up one day from my nap when I was 5, and it was snowing outside. Surprise. I didn't have many friends growing up. Every year, I found one person in my class that I called my best friend. But with some strange twist of fate, they would always move away the year after. My delicate kid ego assumed that they were all trying to get away from me. To make matters worse, I was really chubby, and some of my classmates seemed to be offended by that. So elementary school wasn't the most fun experience, and I didn't have the best opinion of myself. I remember a particular incident in grade 3. I was playing a game of tag with some of my classmates. I was chasing one of my friends when he tripped on a rock and fell. Being literally 2 seconds behind him, I had no time to react and accidentally fell on him like a rock. What my classmates said next will stay with me forever. "You pig, you squashed him with all your fat." I remember those words, and at the time, they burned. There was nothing more I wanted than to disappear. High school hit, and I wasn't much different. A little bit taller, a little bit louder, but still awkward and unsure of myself. I had a few friends and one really close friend, but in general, I still didn't really feel that great about myself. I put on a really tough exterior. I was super hyper and yelled a lot in the halls, but I constantly questioned why other people looked so much happier than I was. It was really only last summer that I started beginning to appreciate who I was. With the help of some amazing people and a summer of amazingness, I came back a completely changed person, a happier person. I stopped wanting to be anybody else. The only person I wanted to be was me. I can tell you this, there is no better feeling in the world. I can recall a particular incident that made me question my own perception of myself. Sometimes, in between classes during camp, we were given free time to simply hang out with each other. Usually, I spent the time writing my journal or texting my friends, who were far away from where I was, in Victoria. The others usually gave me some space to do my own thing, understanding that I just wasn't really into the whole camp environment. That day, a guy I barely knew started playing the cup song. I've always been really fascinated by music, so I couldn't help but ask him how the pattern worked. After he taught me, I was so addicted. I couldn't get the song out of my head. It was a frustrating feeling. I felt like I would burst into song at any moment, and I couldn't stop nodding my head. I was reluctant at first to show the people around me what I had learned. I thought they would find it annoying or weird. Finally, I showed it to my friends at camp. They weren't really my friends yet, since I hadn't bothered to open up to them. To my surprise, they weren't weirded out like I had imagined they would be. Instead, they asked to learn it as well. Before long, everybody, whether they liked it or not, knew how to perform the cup song. And I was happy because, good or bad, it was something that I had started, at least among my group of friends. The more I began to appreciate them, the more I began to appreciate the person that I was. All of it, the good and the bad. After all, nobody else thought exactly the same way I did, or had the same talents, or the same experiences. I leave you with something that took me years to learn. Never yearn to be somebody else, because you are special. You have a story just waiting to be told that is uniquely yours. I wanted to share a little piece of my life with you in the hopes that you guys will discover some things about yourself as well. If you're not all that happy with where or who you are, I urge you to try. Only after we begin accepting and loving ourselves will other people be able to do the same. After all, we have to embrace our own flaws to reach the next stage of joy.